Good morning, K6. How are you? Welcome to another day. Today's Tuesday, of course. I know that because I'm so smart. Just like you guys. Okay. Well, you see, today's Tuesday, of course, as I said, I'm not a book penguin for a good memory. Okay, so anyway, today we're going to start with a story, of course. Story that includes one of the characters who is duck. Quack keeps going on and on and on and on about this. Sometimes even just saying quack, 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 quack. I don't speak duck. And even if I did, I don't want to hear it. Ducks are nice, I'm sure. Penguins are better. Look at me. Aren't I beautiful and smart? I'm better than any duck. Of course, I am the best penguin. In fact, not only are penguins better than ducks, I'm better than any other penguin because I'm different than anybody else. Who are you? What are you? I should say hi to K6. I'm Mr. Penguin, of course. No, you're not. You're an imposter. You are not Mr. Penguin. I am Mr. Penguin. Oh, yes, I am. I am Mr. Penguin. Ask K6. K6? Who's this guy? Who's the real Mr. Penguin? I am. Okay, then tell me. What's the name of one child in K6? Don't look at Mr. Herd. Billy? No. See, K6, I'm the real Mr. Penguin. No. You're not even a real penguin. Neither are you, neither are you. Look at that thing. Look at this. Look at that, K6. Look at that, you imposter. What is it? I can't see it. I'll hold it up for you. I still can't see it. What does it say? It says, Manhattan Toy Company, $16.95. We came from a store. What? A store. What? You're a puppet. What? A toy. You're not a real penguin at all. Of course you're not. Be proud of that. Oh, I don't. Oh, this is very confusing. I feel an I can't even say the word. Existentialist crisis. Yes, that's exactly what I feel. Okay, so let's just tell them together. Together? Come on. Today is story. Mr. Herd is out visiting K6 friends. You should go and have some fun. Do some raskets. Have some fun with your families. And learn lots of stuff. Goodbye.
Good morning, K6. How are you? Now, let's get going again with our story. It's a big, long story, Sydney and her rescue of Prince Anthony. So let's go back over what's happened so far, just to help us remember, okay? All right, so there's Prince Anthony who wants to be king of Cambridge when he grows up, except he's got a problem, right? The Duke of Galt captures him and throws him in the dungeon and needs to be rescued. So Sydney, our hero, the little girl, goes off to try to rescue Prince Anthony. She brings 3 friends with her. Hespler, the monkey with a tongue, like a frog, and Preston, the fish with no eyes, and Galt, the 3-legged duck. Well, okay, he only has 2 legs now, but that is from another day. Okay, so they're tiptoeing down the hall when we left them, and they got caught by a guard. The guard thinks he's very scary, but he actually was dressed in a funny costume and trying to make Sydney laugh. And Sydney was like, what? And so we don't understand that part. Why are they silly? What's so scary about silliness? Oh, I'm not sure. We'll have to find out. So the guard sends them down to the labyrinth. He says, one of you has to go into the labyrinth and go steal a sculpture. The sculpture that a monster who lives in the labyrinth is carving out of a grain of rice. Tiny. the guard, you're supposed to bring it back to the guard because the guard wants to sell it for lots of money. That's where we stopped. So, we'll start again in a second. But it's time for everybody else to come to carpet too. All right. So the guard is telling them about the labyrinth. He says, the monster's name that you will need to find. The monster's name is Yamu. That's a funny name. Yes, exactly, said the guard. Terribly funny. Oh, Yamu, Yamu, Yamu. What's so scary about Yamu? Oh, Yamu is the most powerful and funny monster in the world. Nobody has ever been safe from his silliness. Nobody who has ever seen him has ever been safe from laughing. Sydney wasn't sure she understood, but she thought maybe she shouldn't ask. So she didn't. Now, she had an idea. She was thinking that the labyrinth would be a confusing place. She knew that there were signs everywhere, and that in the labyrinth, in the maze, there might be signs too. One of the K6 superstars knew that. Except, in the Duke's labyrinth, I think the signs might be pointed all over the place in the different ways. And it's true. Sometimes there'll be pointing this way, but you're supposed to go this way. Sometimes you're supposed to go left or right, and the sign would be pointing up. There's nothing there. Very confusing. So why send Preston, the fish with no eyes? He can't see these. He won't be confused, right? All right. What's the other reason? You'll see the last reason is that when he gets to see Yamu, he can't see Yamu. The guard said it's very hard to look at Yamu and not laugh. Preston can't look. He's got no eyes. So off he went. Flip, flop, going through the maze. Flip, flop. Yeah, I know he took wrong turns, of course. Flip, flop, flip. But he's used to that. See, part of the problem when you go in a maze or you're trying to do something and you start getting frustrated. The more wrong turns you take, you get frustrated. And the more frustrated you get, I promise, you get lost even more. It's true. You make one mistake and then you get frustrated and then you're sure to make another one. The best way to not get lost is not to get frustrated. Preston, the fish with no eyes, he doesn't get frustrated. He's used to it. He'll always get lost. Of course he does. It happens all the time. You walk to the store, you walk to Grandma's house, but you get lost all the time. You can't see where you're going. Flip-flop, flip-flop. There's even an expression that grown-ups say. Sometimes grown-ups say that somebody flip-flops. And they flip-flop. And that means they change their mind. They go one way and then they think something else. They decide one thing, they decide that broccoli for supper, and then they go, no, cauliflower. Flip-flop, to change your mind. And that's what Yamu is best at. Who's better at flip-flopping than a fish on the ground? No problem. He's good at flip-flopping. All right, so off he went. Flip-flop, flip-flop, flip-flop through the confusing labyrinth. And eventually, after a long time, it's hard for a fish to flip-flop like that, he found Yamu. Are you ready to see Yamu? Let's do it. Preston the fish did not care. Couldn't see the funny hat. Couldn't see the funny face. Doesn't care. Yamu tried harder. Preston didn't care. Couldn't hear either. Yeah, fish with no eyes. That's strange, but fish with ears? Fish never have ears. Yamu tried one more time. And then Yamu gave up. And he just sat there. And he gave his sculpture to Preston the fish. And Preston the fish flip-flopped away, carrying the sculpture with him. And Yamu said, "Oh my, if the fish came to me, he must know the way out." So Yamu followed along right behind Preston the fish. And they got back to the guard. And the guard was frightened. "Oh my goodness, Yamu in the silliness." And Sydney said, "That's enough. I've had it with this afraid of silly. Why is everyone afraid of silly? What is so scary?" Well, Yamu said, "I will explain. You see, the evil Duke of Galt was not very nice, and you know that. Now, the evil Duke of Galt, among many other reasons why he's so scary and so mean, one of the things is that he does not like funny. Funny makes him angry. And I think it's because he never laughs. And when someone says something funny, everybody laughs. And then he thinks, how come everyone's laughing but me? And so he got so angry that he said, "No more laughing. And if I catch anyone laughing, if I catch anyone smiling, then you will go to the dungeon." And so everyone in the kingdom became very afraid of funny. That's why. Sydney said, "Okay, that makes some sense. I understand now. It's a problem, isn't it?" "Yes, it is," said Yamu. Well, Preston the fish brought the little sculpture up to the guard, who was still afraid and still couldn't look. And he brought it and he gave it to the guard. And the guard looked. It's tiny, right? Great sculpture made out of rice. Tiny. So he took a magnifying glass. He looked confused. And then he looked frustrated and disappointed and a little bit angry. Do you want to see what it looks like, K6? Okay, look. Now that you've seen the sculpture, K6, you might be able to start to guess why the guard was not very happy.
"It's just a cube. You spent your whole life carving a cube?"
"Yes," said Yamu.
"A cube?"
"Yes," said Yamu.
"A cube?"
"Exactly," said Yamu.
"A cube? Stop!" said Sydney. "Quack!" said Galt the duck.
Yamu told him, "Look closer. There are words there." The guard looked closer and closer. "Oh, there are words there." "Yes," said Yamu, "and that is where the beauty is. They are beautiful words. I wrote a little poem on that tiny grain of rice." Amazing. The guard looked close, trying to read the words. Shh. Do you want to know what it said? Okay, come back next time. I'll tell you then. At a time. Bye, K6. Have a good day.